Yesterday's vlog posted up the channel asked the question, how to be an effective GM, how to be an effective game master. We looked at 3 of the top 7 skills. The first 3 needed to really get the most out of your game. The time spent prepping, the time spent running. We're taking time out of real life, night and day, to play. So we want that experience to be as good as possible. I'm going to step around from behind the GM screen, working on Alien the RPG right now. I've literally got my screen up and thinking of some ideas. I'm going to step around and now, from the player perspective, offer my checklist and ask you, as a player, how can we collaborate together to advance the story? Now, many RPG enthusiasts, or it's easy in the beginning to look at the GM and say, they're doing all the heavy lifting. They've got to know the rules. They've got to resolve the rules. They've got to take care of the adventure. They've got to make all those dice rolls. They've got to control the NPCs. They've got to engage the players. Like, yes, absolutely. The GM has a very, very unique position in a role-playing game. But at the same time, the players themselves, you together, you alone, you're the driving force in the game. I can present the narrative as a GM. Just said I stepped around from behind my screen. I can present that scenario, but I need the feedback of the players. I need that back and forth. I need that boldness, that action, that vision, that voice, your player personality, pulling all that in to really see. I have the adventure written down, but the adventure's static. It's some charts, it's some numbers, it's some stat blocks, it's some things I'm going to read along the way, but it's up to you and your reactions to bring it to life. So how can we do that? The first would be to understand what your character can do. What your character can do. And I'm not saying go out and memorize everything. If we're playing D&D, you have to memorize everything. But if I'm playing a first level monk and I have my character sheet, I strive to understand what are my abilities, what are the weapons that I have, what magic items do they have, how do they work. So this way, when I want to take an action, I have an understanding of just what I want to do. And that's not to say that the GM can remind me, make this skill check, utilize this skill. But by having an idea of what my character can do within the framework of the rules, this means that as a party, when we are confronted with a challenge, I know what my character can do. You know what your character can do. You know what your character can do. And we can collaborate as a team and really cross-section our skills and come up with a solution. So being aware of what you can do within the rules, having a general idea. And that might take a couple of plays, that might take a little bit of reading, but by no means memorizing every single fact. That is why we have the rule book. The second is to remember, even if you're the primary character in the game, in this situation, collaboration by the other players. And what I mean by primary collaborator, there's different phases, there's different moments in a role-playing game where maybe there's social skill checks where we're interacting with non-player characters, NPCs. There's raw combat where, look, that dragon's bearing down on us. We rolled for initiative. You're up first, so make it count, whatever the heck you're going to do. Or we really want what's in that chest, and you're the rogue. So get up there and disarm it. At different points in the game, different characters are literally going to take point. They're going to be in charge. And in that moment, they're going to leverage their best skills. But outside of those moments, remember, it's a team. It's an effort. It's bringing all of your skills. I think of an adventuring party, whether it's sci-fi futuristic or kind of fantasy, as a special forces commando team. You all need to work together, leveraging your unique skills and covering for each other's deficiencies just to win. So not dominating the game. It's really easy as a player. What I've tried to do is, when in doubt, or when it's time, when the DM looks and says, okay, this is what you see, this is what's happening, this is what's going on, what do you want to do? And hands it off to the party. I'll let you go first. What do we want to do? I don't need to jump in and speak first. I don't need to kind of say, my character does this. No, go ahead. What are your ideas? I'll add a little bit. Let's see what we can do. So as a player, avoid, if possible, that tendency to go first. Let the other players collaborate. And when in doubt, even if you think it's not the best plan, always go with the majority of the party. Always go with the majority of the party because the other players are going to know their characters potentially better than you, unless there's 2 fighters in the group, or 2 monks or 2 wizards, 2 different similar character classes, building on that synergy. From those perspectives as a player, what this is going to do is twofold. Leverage you just to win, just to give you the best tools, the tech, the talent, the skill possibilities to win that encounter that the GM throws up against there. But 2, it's going to create adventure opportunities. It's going to leverage skills in the game through other characters, collaboration, and your character to find out information leads, to discover secret doors, to unlock those computer codes and get the layout for the starship. Whatever it's going to be, it's going to give you the most options. And then from those options, the parts that are primary to your character, you're then ready. You're then available to step in